Level design. Okay, since level design is a whole different way of thinking as far as modeling goes, I'm going to make an entire lesson devoted to kind of the 101 of level design. And we're going to use very simple examples, but you can use those to make very complex examples. So I start out with a box, and we're going to make maybe a 4-room level. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is get the height down pat. Now, here's what I would do to get the height. Let's delete this box first and go into Window, Settings and Preferences, and go in here and take the settings and turn this to feet. Okay. And the reason I do that is because now, let's say I develop a room. Well, I know that the standard person is what? There's a 6 foot, but we have 8 foot walls and 10 foot walls in the house. Okay, good. So now I can start worrying about real world measurement a little bit. So in here, I'm going to scale Y up to be about an 8 foot room. This is an 8 foot room right there. And now that I have scale down pat, I can now take this and make it a little bit bigger. And set it over here. And then I'm going to take and duplicate that. And I'm going to scale this one down only in the X and Y, or X and Z. Okay. Then we're going to use an example of a 10-foot room. So here I'll just type 10. And I'll have another one of these right about here. Okay. Alright, so we'll pretend these are rooms in our levels. Okay. And maybe make this a little bit like that. The first thing I would do is use your grid. How you use that is dog Victor on the keyboard, and you could take these, and let's say this was a 10-foot room, and I want to snap all these to the corner. And this is dog and Victor on the keyboard. And that way I can hit this and X on the keyboard and snap these all to the grid. That way they're all on the same level. Now, this one's going to be a little harder to snap to the grid, so what I do is snap it and then I move it back to X and Y, or X and Z. Ugh. Okay, so here we have our 4 rooms. Now we're going to start intertwining these rooms with hallways. So I'm going to sketch out the hallway. So hallways are usually, 6 foot high. Well, no, 7 foot at least. Dog Victor, put this at the bottom, and X to snap it to the grid. And a hallway is relatively 4 feet wide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stretch this out so I can combine these 2 rooms. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate this shape and rotate it around. I'll rotate it that Y 90 degrees. Oops. There we go. I'll create a hallway system off this one little tiny area. Like that. Maybe this room's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to take it produce it something like this. Then I'm going to make a hallway that makes no sense whatsoever, but it's one of those level hallways. There we go. So now we got this complex, all right? Now in the next video, I want to show you how to join all these together the right way and start thinking about normals.